with Marquette in a second. To my right, we have Jenna Reitzma, Coach Tice, and on the far right, Hattie Bray. And we will let Coach Tice start it off with a few comments, and we'll go to questions for the student athletes.
Congratulations to Texas. They're a terrific team, amazing environment, great place to play. In a regional semifinal, it was pretty fun, pretty good learning experience for our team. In general, not even about the match. I mean, Texas is great, lots of pressure from the service line, but I'm really proud of our team for the year that they've had. Excited, so many coming back. Our last 3-4 weeks was standing room only, over 3,000 at home against Creighton, a sellout conference championship, and back-to-back over 2,000 fans for us hosting the first 2 rounds of the NCAA Tournament, and then 4,000 fans here. So the last month has been pretty exciting for our group. Practices seem pretty boring, in my opinion, to them after you're playing in that environment over and over again. But I don't know if these were our goals or what we've envisioned this season being when we started. But one heck of a last month and last 4 or 5 months, and I thank our players for that.
Thank you, Coach. Questions for Jenna and Hattie?
Yeah, so this team, we just have so much fun on the court, and I think that in this match today, we really just kind of wanted to show who we were and play confident, and I think that after being down in the first set and just kind of settling in and being like, hey, like, we're a great team, we're here for a reason, and so I think that we kind of started to find our rhythm and kind of push back on them, and I think that it just kind of shows our fight as a team because we want to be in these matches. This is what we play for, to play in these big games against a great team like Texas or whoever our opponents are. And so I think being on this big stage, once we kind of settled in, it was a really fun match for us, and we just kind of wanted to keep playing for each other.
I'd have to add that we have some amazing leaders on our team. We're a pretty young team, but a lot of us came from places where we were the player that people would look to, and so having us all on the same team really benefits. We have Carly Strawback, who is our senior libero, and she came in after the second set. The 2 minutes and 30 seconds we had gave us a hell of a speech, and I don't know what, but it lit a fire, and we came back fighting. So I really appreciate all the leadership we have. Yeah, getting back into it definitely was a big struggle because anything that we gave them, they'd come back swinging hard, and to get a stop, they'd throw a tip at us. So I think getting into it again was just relying on our players and probably just leaning on each other. There was times where I would look at Jenna on the court and we just knew that we trusted each other, and so the trust is probably what carried us through the most.
I would say to them that they don't give you any plays off. You have to be really focused in on the match, and they have a really physical team, and so you have to be able to find ways to use their hands or get them moving around on the court, take them a little more out of system so that they aren't, when they're in system, they have big arms coming at you quick, and it's hard to defend. And if you can get them a little bit off the net, more running around, then it opens up the other teams for those opportunities, and I think that if we could have kept making those work, then we could have scored some more points tonight.
I'd agree to that. I think keeping them out of system definitely was a key because then we could line up our defense better versus their offense because almost every single out-of-system balls went to the outside. So it definitely was a better lineup for us, especially getting stops and turning it onto our momentum.
Yeah, so we're really excited that we have a lot of returners next year, and I think that we can keep finding our rhythm together, keep growing together. And I think that this year, the more we played together, the better we got, and we kind of found that rhythm. And now looking forward and being optimistic about all the extra time we'll get together in the spring and even in the next season, just kind of building on that, building those relationships and trust in the court, I think we can still do great things and play in some big matches next year.
Yeah, being a young team in the playoffs is really exciting because next year we come back with almost our entire starting lineup and many players who've been working really hard this season. And so I just know, as being a redshirt, I, in the spring last year, worked really hard because I knew that next year I'd have to step up and I'd have to become a player that my team would rely on. And so I think all of us have that same mentality of coming back and making it even further. So the spring's going to be really fun because we're going to be getting after it.
Anything else for Jenna or Hattie? Questions for Coach Tice?
Apparently we've been prodding Carly to become a collegiate coach, and apparently she should.
She's really
Because
good.
whatever she says is way better than me. But I was just thrilled. I thought a huge learning experience, we talked about in the locker room afterwards. I think two things. One, if you can sneak a top 12 seed instead of a 16 seed, you're playing in that first match today instead of a top 4 seed on the road, right? And so I thought that was a learning experience. Is there a way to have just a little bit better year and get a little bit better of a seed? And then the other learning experience was just how they came back and put it on Texas a little bit in the third, just to make this experience something to learn from versus something to feel bad about. And I think that 13-15 or 16-12, whatever that it was in the fourth, the fact that we went a set and a half and felt like we belonged, I thought was a pretty good learning experience for our group. They were, 10 aces. I don't think we're a bad passing team. And they just sideline after sideline, wherever they want it, flat, with pace is really high level. And then all 6 skills. You could outside hitting, you could talk about middles, you could talk about their setter, you could talk about their libero from the service line. You could talk about a lot. They're a really complete team. We knew they were good at all 6 skills. Sometimes you've got really physical teams out there that can't pass, or, hey, they don't serve that tough, so our offense will get on them. And I didn't think they had much. So I can't say one thing, but I will say their service game is extremely high level. We knew that coming in, and it's tough to emulate that. I would think most teams have a tough time handling it.
Anything else for Coach Tice? Thanks, y'all. Congratulations on a great year.
Did you have one? Oh.
I'm sorry, I missed you.
Say that the last part again. What does it mean for what? I love, this is my 9th year, and I think before I got here, we had made one top 25 appearance. Last year we graduated 75% of our offense and 2 setters and came back and did this and returned so much. And I just so proud of our program, where it's at, the culture of our program, and I just hope more and more fans in our community, this last month, they're just more and more, and you're on the news more and more, and more fans are coming to games. And that's great. And Wisconsin, we've got a great state for volleyball, and Milwaukee's got a great community. And I just hope a lot of them saw this, and I hope that means in September when we get going off next year that we pick up right where we left off, and we got 3,000 fans in the building to start off the year. I hope we take away and ride that momentum.
Apologize for that. Thank you. Thank you, Jenna, Hattie, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
Thank you.